I used to think our marriage was ordinary. Not perfect, just steady. Predictable. Comfortable. Lisa and I had been married for 18 years. 3 kids. A house in a quiet suburb. Cut grass, minivans, soccer practice on weekends. We weren't rich, but we had peace. Or at least I thought we did. The days started with coffee, breakfast chaos, and a kiss on the cheek before I left for work. The evenings were calm. We'd eat dinner as a family. Watch a show. Put the twins to bed. Then Lisa would curl up next to me on the couch. Some nights she'd fall asleep with her head on my shoulder, still wearing that soft lavender robe I bought her for Christmas years ago. I thought that meant something. Turns out, I was just background noise in her life. The first crack showed on a Tuesday. I came home from work, late, and found Lisa sitting on the couch with her phone in her hand, looking like she'd rehearsed something. I didn't think much of it. Until she turned to me and said it. "Grant, there's something I've decided to do." Her voice was too calm. Too steady. Like she'd practiced it in front of a mirror. I muted the TV. "Okay, what's going on?" She brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. A nervous habit. But her eyes stayed locked on mine. "I'm going to be Sarah's surrogate." Silence. It took me a second to even process the words. "Wait. What?" She nodded slowly. "Sarah and Kevin can't have kids. IVF failed. The doctors recommended a surrogate. Since Sarah's my twin, I'm a perfect match. I've already started the process." I just stared at her. "You already started?" She looked down, then back up. "I knew you'd be upset. That's why I didn't say anything." No apology. No hesitation. Just, matter-of-fact betrayal. "You didn't even think I should have a say?" I asked, my voice tight. "It's my body," she said. "I wanted to help my sister. I knew you wouldn't understand." "You talked to Kevin about this?" She nodded. "Of course. We discussed everything." "Right," I said, laughing bitterly. "You and Kevin had deep conversations. But your husband? I get a casual announcement after it's already happening?" She crossed her arms. "I hoped you'd support me." "No," I said. "You hoped I'd stay quiet while you carried another man's child under my roof." "Don't be dramatic." That's what she said. "Don't be dramatic." The woman I married for nearly 2 decades, the mother of my children, had made a life-changing decision. Behind my back. With another man. And I was being dramatic? I stood up. Walked to the kitchen. Tried to breathe. My hands were shaking. She followed me in. "Grant, I'm not asking for your permission." "I noticed," I said sharply. She shrugged. "It's 9 months. Then the baby goes to Sarah and Kevin. Nothing changes for us." Everything had already changed. That night, I slept in the guest room. The smell of her lotion still on my pillow was enough to make me nauseous. I stared at the ceiling and thought, if she's willing to lie about this, what else is she hiding? The next few days were hell. She was cheerful. Talkative. As if nothing had happened. She left pamphlets from the clinic on the counter. Talked about hormone treatments like she was reading grocery lists. At one point, I opened the fridge and found fertility meds next to the eggs. I nearly threw them out the window. 2 nights later, I found her reading a thick packet of documents on the kitchen table. I asked what it was. "Prep instructions," she said. "For the embryo transfer." I stared at her. "You didn't think this was worth discussing again?" She looked at me like I was the one being unreasonable. I already told you. I'm moving forward. Without me, I said. She didn't respond. I stepped closer. Lisa, this isn't just about your body. It's about our marriage. A family. If you loved me, she said, you'd support this. That's when I knew it was over. Love doesn't mean blind loyalty. Love means respect. Partnership. Communication. She had none of that left for me. So I made a decision of my own. If she was going to treat me like a bystander in our marriage, then I'd stop acting like a husband. I called a lawyer the next day. When she found out, she lost it. Accused me of betrayal. Of abandoning her during a noble act. Noble? Is it noble to lie to your spouse? Is it noble to make medical, financial, and emotional decisions behind his back? No. It's selfish. Arrogant. And unforgivable. She said, Grant, we can still fix this. I looked her in the eye and said, there is no we. You made that clear. She stormed off, slamming the door behind her. From that day forward, we were just strangers living in the same house. She stayed in the guest room. I took the master bedroom. The kids noticed. They started asking questions. We told them what we could. But children sense tension even when you try to hide it. Lisa started acting like nothing was wrong. She invited her sister and Kevin over our house, like it was some baby shower planning HQ. I came home one afternoon to find Kevin sitting in my chair. In my chair. Flipping through a catalog of strollers. I told him to get out. He laughed nervously. We're just getting ready. I cut him off. Not in my house. Lisa got defensive. Said I was being unreasonable. I turned to her and said, you made this mess. You clean it up. Don't drag me into it. She glared at me. But I saw the flash of fear behind her eyes. She knew. I wasn't bluffing. I was done being the nice guy. From the moment I filed for divorce, Lisa became someone else. Cold. Rigid. Defensive. Like she'd already rewritten history to make me the villain in her story. She refused to move out. Said she needed rest because of the pregnancy. Said she couldn't afford to stay anywhere else. Said, the kids need stability. I didn't want to uproot my children either, so I agreed. For them. Not for her. But I made one thing clear. We were no longer husband and wife. Just two strangers under one roof. She slept in the guest room, or the couch, depending on her mood. I kept the master bedroom, door locked every night. We passed each other in the hallway like ghosts. And when she tried to talk to me? I answered in short, clipped sentences. Just enough to be polite. Nothing more. But Lisa? She didn't stop. She kept pretending it was just a rough patch. Kept bringing up the surrogacy like it was normal. Kept acting like carrying Kevin's child in our home, in front of our children, was somehow heroic. It wasn't. It was disgusting. Disrespectful. And I refused to reward it. The worst part? Kevin and Sarah kept coming over. Without warning. One Saturday, I walked into the living room and found them sitting with Lisa, flipping through more baby gear catalogs, like they were planning a nursery. In my house. Kevin stood up, tried to smile. Hey Grant, just helping Lisa prepare. I didn't smile back. Didn't realize this house was open for baby business. Lisa shot me a glare. Don't be rude. I looked at Kevin. You want to prepare for your baby? Do it in your house. Not mine. Sarah stepped in, arms crossed. We are family, Grant. This baby's important to all of us. I laughed. Family? You all made decisions without me. Don't come to me now talking about family. Kevin raised his hands. Look man, I get it. It's awkward. No, I said. Awkward is when someone takes the last slice of pizza. This? This is betrayal. Lisa stood up. You can't ban them. This is my house too. I turned to her. Calm. Cold. You gave up your voice in this house when you chose Kevin over me. Sarah grabbed Kevin's arm. Let's go. They left. Quiet. Ashamed. And I stood in the hallway, pulse steady, finally feeling like I had control again. Lisa didn't stop trying to manipulate me. She'd act helpless. Dramatic. Come to me with one hand on her back, moaning. Grant, can you grab a pillow? My back's killing me. I wouldn't even look up. Ask Kevin. Grant, I feel sick. Can you get me some crackers? Not my baby. Not my problem. Every time she tried to guilt me, I gave her nothing. One night, she came to my bedroom door. Tired. Pale. Dark circles under her eyes. I can't sleep, she said. My legs keep cramping. Can you rub them? Like you used to, when I was pregnant with the twins? I stared at her. Her face was full of hope. Maybe even love. I said one word. No. And closed the door. The look on her face? I'll never forget it. She thought I'd break. Thought I'd cave. She had no idea who she was dealing with. Lisa's parents started calling me. At first, it was concern. Then came the guilt trips. Then came the threats. Her mother said, Grant, I can't believe how cruel you're being. Lisa is doing a beautiful thing for her sister. She needs your support. I said, maybe ask your daughter why she never asked my support before signing her life away. Click. Her father tried to intimidate me. Young man, he growled, you better start acting like a husband before you lose everything. I laughed. I already lost everything the day your daughter signed up to carry another man's baby behind my back. Click. They stopped calling after that. By the 7th month, Lisa could barely move. One night, she came home from a doctor's appointment with bags of groceries. She was struggling to carry them. One nearly dropped on the porch. She called out, Grant. Can you please help me? My back. I opened the door. Stood in the doorway. Arms crossed. Asked Kevin. She froze. Tears filled her eyes. Please. No. She picked up the bags herself. Dropped a can on the porch. Bent down to pick it up. Nearly fell. I didn't move. She bruised her arm trying to drag everything inside. I closed the door. That night, she slammed cupboards. Yelled. Threw things. You can't keep punishing me, she screamed. I looked up from my laptop. I'm not punishing you. I'm just done pretending you're my wife. It got worse. One night, around 2 a.m., I heard her in the hallway. Moaning. Panicked knocking at my door. Grant! My water broke. Oh God, it's happening. I need help. I opened the door. She was hunched over. Pale. Sweating. Eyes wide with fear. Kevin's not answering, she gasped. Sarah's phone is off. I can't do this alone. I stared at her. You made the decision alone. You can handle the consequences alone. Please, she whispered. You can't just let me suffer. I stepped back. Call an ambulance. Grant, I'm begging you. I locked eyes with her. Watch me. I closed the door. 15 minutes later, the ambulance arrived. I heard them take her away. Lights flashing through my window. I lay back in bed and felt nothing. No guilt. No sorrow. Just silence. And finally, peace. The next morning, my phone blew up. Lisa's mother. Screaming voicemails. You're a monster. You let her go to the hospital alone. I deleted every message. She wanted to act like she didn't have a husband? Fine. Then don't expect one when things get hard. Lisa stayed in the hospital for several days. The baby, a girl, was born premature but healthy. Sarah had complications. Kevin was stretched thin. Nobody asked me for help. And I didn't offer it. I took the kids to school. Went to work. Made dinner. And waited. Waited for the next move. Because I wasn't done. Not yet. Lisa came back from the hospital 3 days later. She was pale. Exhausted. Eyes sunken from lack of sleep. In her hands, a baby carrier. Inside it, the child that destroyed our marriage. A tiny, innocent face, wrapped in pink. I stood in the doorway as she walked in. She didn't look at me. Just placed the carrier on the floor. Took a deep breath. Sank onto the couch. The baby let out a soft cry. I didn't move. After a moment, Lisa finally spoke. Sarah's still recovering. Kevin's overwhelmed. They asked me to keep the baby here for a few weeks. I stared at her. They asked, or you volunteered? She looked up, defensively. Does it matter? Yes, I said. Because this isn't their house. And that baby isn't staying here without my say. Her jaw clenched. She's helpless, Grant. I can't just abandon her. You should have thought about that before signing up to carry someone else's kid without talking to your husband. She rubbed her forehead. A tear rolled down her cheek. Are you always going to be this cruel? I didn't flinch. I was kind when I had a wife. Now I have a stranger with someone else's baby in my house. And then I walked away. For the next month, our nights were filled with crying. Not from my kids. From the newborn. Every night. Like clockwork. Screaming. Whimpering. Hungry wails that echoed through the hallway. Lisa was exhausted. She shuffled from room to room, bottle in hand, hair in a mess, clothes wrinkled. One night, she knocked on my door. Her voice trembling. I need half an hour. Just 30 minutes. Please. She won't stop crying. I opened the door. Her face looked like she hadn't slept in days. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I said nothing. Just stared at her. Then quietly, closed the door in her face. No guilt. No hesitation. That wasn't my baby. That was her project. Her noble sacrifice. Let her live it. Her parents started coming by more often. First, to help with the baby. Then, to scream at me. You're heartless, her mother shouted one afternoon. She's suffering, Grant. She made a choice, I said. Let her live with it. Her father tried to corner me in the kitchen. You should be ashamed, he growled. Lisa is postpartum. She needs support. I looked him dead in the eye. She should have thought of that when she picked Kevin over me. He stormed out, cursing under his breath. I didn't care. Let the world call me cruel. I wasn't here to win sympathy. I was here to survive. And to make sure she never forgot what she did. As the weeks passed, the pressure cracked her. One evening, Lisa was standing in the kitchen, holding the baby, rocking back and forth, crying silently. She hadn't eaten. She looked hollow. I walked in, poured myself a drink, and she whispered, "I'm drowning." I didn't answer. She turned, eyes red. "You really don't care, do you?" I took a sip. "I care about my kids. The ones you gave birth to for me." "This one?" I nodded at the baby. "Not my problem." She flinched like I'd slapped her. Then said something I'll never forget. "I made a mistake." I looked at her. Too late. Around that time, my lawyer uncovered something important. Lisa had used our joint accounts to pay for some of the surrogacy procedures. She even forged my signature. That was the crack I needed. Now it wasn't just betrayal. It was financial fraud. I sent the documents to my lawyer immediately. He smiled. "This changes everything." A few days later, Lisa approached me again. This time, more composed. Almost formal. "I need financial help." I raised an eyebrow. "For what?" She hesitated. "Food. Diapers. Bills. I'm not ready to work. The doctor says I need to focus on recovery." I stared at her. "Lisa, when we are divorced, I'll pay child support. For our 3 kids. But I'm not paying you a cent for someone else's baby." She blinked. Hurt. "You think I don't deserve anything?" I set down my glass. "I think you got what you wanted. Now live with it." She turned away. Shoulders shaking. But I didn't reach out. Didn't comfort her. Not anymore. That part of me was gone. Eventually, Sarah and Kevin started visiting again. They were supposed to take the baby. But Sarah's recovery was slower than expected. Kevin's hours got cut at work. Their bills were piling up. So Lisa kept the baby. Weeks turned into 2 months. She was crumbling. And I watched, silently. Refusing to help. Letting her sink into the hole she dug. One night, she came into the living room holding the baby. I was on the couch with our twins, watching cartoons. Lisa stood there, eyes wide, voice cracking. She hasn't stopped crying in 4 hours. I can't anymore. I looked at her. Then at my kids. I said nothing. Lisa turned to walk away. Then paused. And whispered, "Do you still see me as the woman you married?" I didn't answer. Because the answer was simple. No. The woman I married respected me. This one? She made a deal with another man, behind my back, and then expected me to carry the weight. She didn't deserve an answer. 2 weeks later, she made a choice. She packed her bags. Took the baby. And moved into her mother's house. The kids asked why. She told them it was temporary. But I knew better. She was breaking. And I was winning. Not with fists. Not with shouting. But with silence. With indifference. With letting her live in the mess she created. Every late-night bottle. Every diaper. Every scream. That wasn't my burden. That was her reminder. Every single day. The court date was set. Lisa tried to act confident. But I saw the panic behind her eyes. Her lawyer painted her as a loving mother. A devoted sister. A woman abandoned in her most vulnerable moment. But we had receipts. My lawyer laid it out like a weapon. Emails. Bank statements. Medical bills. All signed, without my consent. Including forged documents. It wasn't just emotional betrayal anymore. It was financial deception. And the judge? She saw it. Her face didn't move. But I saw the shift in her eyes. Lisa had lost her sympathy. Now she was just a case file. Lisa tried to argue. Said I was cruel. Uncaring. Said I turned cold during her pregnancy. I didn't deny it. I leaned into it. Because she needed the court to see the why behind it. And I made sure they did. She planned a pregnancy with another man, I said. Behind my back. Spent our money. Forged my name. All without a single conversation. She didn't lose a husband. She threw him away. Silence in the courtroom. Even Kevin and Sarah looked uncomfortable. Good. They should. They were part of this too. When it came to custody, I asked for primary rights. Lisa fought it. Said she deserved equal time. But the judge saw through her. 3 kids. 1 woman. No job. No stability. 1 infant, not even hers to keep, and no plan for the future. The judge made her ruling. Primary custody to me. Visitation for Lisa. Only if she could prove a stable environment. And the kicker? Lisa was ordered to repay a portion of the misused funds. No spousal support. No sympathy. Just consequences. Real ones. After the ruling, Lisa broke. In the hallway outside the courtroom, she approached me. Tears in her eyes. Her voice barely a whisper. I'm sorry, Grant. I never thought it would go this far. I didn't speak. She kept going. I made a mistake. I should have talked to you. I thought I was doing the right thing. I finally looked at her. You thought wrong. She nodded slowly. I just wish you could forgive me. I shook my head. You don't ask for forgiveness after you burn the bridge. You live with the ash. She wiped her face. Turned away. Sarah stood nearby. Tried to say something. I cut her off before she even opened her mouth. You got your baby. You live with her now. Don't talk to me again. Then I walked out. Into the light. And for the first time in months, I felt free. Lisa moved in with her mother. Took the baby with her. Sarah still wasn't ready to take custody. Kevin was drowning in bills. And suddenly? No one had time to help Lisa anymore. The calls stopped. The visits stopped. And she was left, alone. The hero became invisible. The martyr forgotten. And I? I was thriving. The house was quiet again. My kids smiled more. Laughed louder. We had dinners at the table. Movie nights on Fridays. Board games on Sundays. The war was over. And I'd won. Not by fighting. But by refusing to be their fool. Sometimes, Lisa would text. Asking about the kids. I'd answer politely. Nothing more. She tried to bring up the past. Tried to open the door again. But I left it closed. Permanently. Because here's the truth, She didn't just betray me. She gambled our life for someone else's dream. And when it blew up, she looked around for someone to carry her through the fire. I let her burn. Months passed. Sarah finally took the baby. Lisa stayed adrift. No job. No partner. No home of her own. The woman who once said, "It's my body, my choice," now had no one to back her choices. Kevin and Sarah had their hands full. And Lisa? She wasn't their problem anymore either. She reached out one last time. A long email. Said she missed who we used to be. Said she never meant to hurt me. Said she thought helping Sarah would bring us all closer. I didn't reply. Because there's a point where sorry means nothing. Not when the damage is permanent. Not when the trust is dead. Someone once asked me if I regretted being so cold. I said no. I gave her what she wanted. Independence. Autonomy. Freedom. I just made sure she understood the price. And that she paid every cent of it, alone. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. And in the end, I didn't just walk away with my dignity. I walked away with everything that mattered. My kids. My peace. And my self-respect. The rest? She can keep it. Because I'm done carrying other people's mistakes. It's been over a year now. Since the court ruling. Since Lisa walked out of my house, holding the baby that wasn't mine, and carrying the weight of her own decisions. She moved in with her mother. Tried to rebuild. But rebuilding takes support. And hers? Disappeared. Kevin and Sarah were overwhelmed. Medical bills. Childcare. Fights. Tension. They had no time for Lisa. She became an afterthought. The woman who carried the baby? No longer a savior. Just a burden. She texted me, a few weeks after moving out. Not about the kids. Not about schedules. Just loneliness. She wrote, "I never imagined I'd lose everything." I didn't answer. Because she didn't lose everything. She gave it away. One selfish decision at a time. I focused on my children. They were thriving. Doing better in school. Smiling more. No more whispered fights behind closed doors. No more strangers in our living room. No more pretending everything was fine. Because now? Everything was fine. Finally. Lisa tried to get closer again. She'd linger during custody drop-offs. Ask questions. Bring up old memories. One day, she said, "Do you ever miss me?" I looked at her. And said, "I miss the version of you that didn't lie to me." She looked down. Didn't speak. That version of her? It died the day she chose Kevin over me. The day she picked secrecy over partnership. The day she gambled our marriage, and lost. She sent another message later. Said she regretted everything. Said she didn't know Kevin would be so unreliable. Said Sarah wasn't helping like she promised. That the dream turned into a nightmare. That no one was there for her anymore. I read it. Deleted it. Didn't respond. Because that's not my problem. She made herself the hero of someone else's story. Let them write the ending. I already closed my book. People ask me sometimes. Why didn't you help her? She was clearly overwhelmed. And I tell them the truth. She didn't want my help. She wanted my silence. She got both. They shake their heads. Say I'm cold. Say I should have been more forgiving. But forgiveness is earned. And Lisa? She never tried to earn it. She just wanted to escape the consequences. I made sure she didn't. The last time I saw her face to face, it was outside a school play. Our daughter had a small part. Lisa stood near the back, alone. Hair tied up. Tired eyes. Fake smile. When the show ended, I took the kids to the car. She called after me. Grant. I turned. She looked like she had 100 things to say. But only managed one. I wish I could go back. I nodded. Me too. But not for the reason she thought. Because if I could go back, I would have left sooner. Kevin and Sarah? From what I heard, their relationship cracked. Stress. Money. Blame. The baby became a battlefield. Lisa tried to stay involved. But she wasn't family anymore. Not really. Just the woman who made their mess possible. And now? No one wanted to clean it up. Not even her. Sometimes I wonder what Lisa thinks about when she's alone at night. Maybe she replays the moment she told me. That first conversation on the couch. Grant, I've made a decision. Maybe she thought I'd accept it. Maybe she believed I'd support her. Maybe she never thought I'd walk away. But I did. And I never looked back. Here's the truth no one wants to admit. Sometimes people deserve to be left behind. Not out of cruelty. Not out of hate. But because they broke something sacred. Trust. And once it's gone, you don't rebuild it. You bury it. Lisa buried us the day she chose secrets over honesty. She chose Kevin's baby over our marriage. She made her bed. And I let her lie in it. Alone. Without sympathy. Without rescue. That was my revenge. Not some grand gesture. Not screaming or fighting. Just silence. Just indifference. Just walking away. So no. I don't regret being cold. I don't regret saying no when she cried. I don't regret closing the door in her face. Because I gave her exactly what she asked for. Freedom. Autonomy. Control over her own body. She got it all. She just didn't realize what it would cost. Until it was too late. I still live in the same house. The same street. Same porch. Same living room. But the air feels different now. Clean. Still. Peaceful. Because she's gone. And I'm not angry anymore. Just free. And that's the best revenge of all.